The following is a special presentation of Extreme eSpeed TV, your new home for everything iRacing and eSpeed.
Welcome, race fans, as it is the Extreme eSpeed TV Pro Late Model Series here from Volusia Speedway Park for night number 2 of the 3rd annual Winter Nationals. Last night it was this man right here, Dylan Perry, coming away with the victory as the series moves on to night number 2. Of course, Dylan Perry, last year's champion as well. I'm Travis Piercefield, as always, joined with Adam Johnson. And Adam, should be another great night. This Volusia Speedway Park always leads to some good racing action, especially here for the Pro Late Model division.
Oh, for sure. You know, we've been doing these for a few years now with this series, and Volusia is one that's always circled on the calendar, and we're going to see if Perry can power through yet another night here at Volusia. He was able to just top Brandon Combs last night, as well as the rookie Jason Crow, and I'll tell you what, Jason Crow, that is not going to be the last time you hear us mentioning his name tonight. Big things from the rookie already taking place now. I do want to get a look here at the standings. Crow sitting in 4th, but just in front of him you have your leader, Dylan Perry, with 3 wins on the season. Behind him, Brandon Combs with his 2. Almost had another last night. And then Brandon Marlowe behind them. So with Jacob Lassiter rounding out your top 5, it is tight competition right now. The top 4 drivers are all within 83 points, but I'll tell you what, Dylan Perry's got the most important number right now, and that's 3 wins, the most in the series so far in this early season. Now, Dylan Perry, he did have a back-to-back to open up the year, but since then, it's been the Brandon Combs show prior to last night with wins at Kern County and Charlotte, so not entirely sure what to expect. You know, we've done a lot of doubleheaders in our time in this series, and really, I don't know if we've seen many races that have been, you know, a carbon copy night 1 to night 2. So last night was a 60-lap thriller, and I think we're in for a heck of a battle. You know, there's some names that maybe want to improve what they did last night. You know, Andy Piercefield just outside the top 10 with the 12th place finish. I know he was happy with that, but I also know there's more on the table that he can get, and maybe we'll see that happen tonight. But a lot of fun. You're getting a good look right now. Hot laps the sun. Producing some beautiful pink hues in the sky right now. Some fans in the infield also starting to kind of file in and get comfortable in the stands too. So, Travis, we're in for a good night, and it's one that, you know, if it goes like all the other races this season, it could fly by or it could be full of drama.
Well, this year we've got 2 different winners, Dylan Perry, Brandon Combs, sweeping the events, and it could be one of those winners again tonight, or surely a surprise winner, as you mentioned, Adam. Plenty of guys that have ran up front all season long. Also, last night, some good runs for some drivers. So it's always fun watching those battles there, you know, for top 10 finishes, top 5 finishes amongst the drivers, which tonight we have 18 of them out there on the track, which should be a lot of fun to see. An almost full field out here for this one at Volusia, night number 2 of Winter Nationals. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk Houston Guttering time trials as our night moves on here as you're watching the Pro Late Model Dirt Series on Extreme eSpeed TV.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
This is the premier podcast for late model dirt track racing. This is Forward Bite, hosted by superfan and actual know-it-all Kyle Armstrong on the Speed Sport Podcast Network.
Welcome back to another edition of the Forward Bite Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Armstrong.
Welcome back to Volusia Speedway Park as we get ready for tonight's racing action. It is the third annual Winter Nationals, night number 2 from Barberville, Florida.
Yeah, and before we kind of jump into the Houston Guttering time trials, I want to give you kind of a reminder of where we sit with the AC Customs Graphics Rookie of the Year standings. You got Jason Crow, we mentioned him to open up the broadcast. He's atop it. He's got a 48-point lead above Kenny Haight. Third, fourth, and fifth, you're going to hear Kendrick Hicks, Hayden Swaney, and Tyler Benefield. And it looks like we're going to have appearances by both Evan Hinkle and Chris Payne tonight. So all the rookies making an appearance. And, yeah, I mean, noise is going to be made, that's for sure, by these drivers tonight.
So we're actually up to 20 drivers now here for this one tonight. So a packed field here. We'll move on from Houston Guttering time trials with our carrier heat races, that Combs Cuts Last Chance Showdown, and of course that feature event coming up tonight here at the 3rd Annual Winter Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. So looking at the rookies up down through the field, it looks like we've got 5 rookies here tonight. So of course that Rookie of the Year point standings is always fun to watch. And Adam, it is a little shift in schedule. We've got some races coming up, and then we've got that spring break coming up, which will push us all the way till almost June, almost summer months for racing action here shortly.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun events on the schedule. It's a jam-packed month of March. Then, you'll get that break around April, but we're looking at next Wednesday, the I-55 Raceway. We got the Spring Thaw, another one that's always circled on the calendar. Really, a few, really, when you're looking at it. And then a week later, you got Bristol Motor Speedway, the Smoky Mountain Dirt Nationals. 2 weeks after that, March 27th, Fairbury Speedway for the Illinois Dirt Classic. Another one of the kind of the staples of this series. And then a month later, basically on May 1st, kick off that month at Kokomo Speedway for the Rain Dodger 60. So some fun ones, some ones that are kind of staples to the series, and ones that are like continuing to kind of grow the legendary status in the series. And there's definitely ones each year where race director Cody Early is going to say, hey, we're going to add to this schedule, or we're going to take away. So kind of keeps the drivers on the toes, but all in the right reason and all the right ways. So as we await Houston Guttering time trials, I want to remind you tonight's race is going to be 60 laps just like last night. It looks like there's still about 4.5 minutes left in practice. The hot laps right now, you're looking at it on the left side of your screen. Jacob Laster, very quick, as well as Brandon Bender and Brandon Combs. So all of them in your top 13 are sub 15 in their quickest time, but as we know, as each event progresses on, they become more important. So Houston Guttering time trials we will have coming up after this, and that'll kind of see where things lie out for the carrier heat races, and make it a last chance showdown tonight as well.
Of course, we have practice times over there to the left. You can see all 18 that made it out on the track during that hot lap session. Drivers are in their drivers meeting right now, preparing for Houston Guttering time trials coming up here shortly. See Aiden Young up there in the top 5. Good to see him back up there. Crow, the rookie that we talked about, up there as well. John Hine. Dylan Perry down there in 9th, and that's something we've seen, Adam, on broadcast this year. Not always the fastest in practice in the Houston Guttering time trials, but he sure shows up during that feature event later in the evening.
Yeah, never really have to worry about him. And I remember early in kind of his time in this series, you're like, man, is he going to have an off night? And you almost kept assuming that one of these nights he was going to have an off night. And I guess, we're bound, and if we do this for years and years, to see that come to fruition. But that's what Dylan Perry's kind of known for, is he's not going to give you all of the tricks. He's not going to show his cards right from the start of the night. And really, I mean, it makes sense when you really think it out, right? But it can be hard when you may be able to push your car a little harder and win that heat race, or maybe push it harder and get the top spot in practice for Houston Guttering time trials. So it's just kind of funny because he really, when the lights come on for the main event, that's when he shows up. So 60 lapper tonight, going to be a fun one. If it plays out similar to last night, I'll be a little surprised. I think the drivers are kind of taking a little bit of what they learned from last night and trying to just see if maybe they can do it again tonight.
Well, with that, Adam, we're going to take one more quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have Houston Guttering time trials, as it's night number 2 of the 3rd Annual Winter Nationals, presented by A.W. Willingham Trucking, here on Extreme eSpeed TV. We are back as we cut in from commercial break here, and we have Houston Guttering time trials on the track from Dalton, New Hampshire. It's that 69 machine of Aiden Young, as we'll have those best times over on the left here during this Houston Guttering time trial session.
That's right. Also out there, one of the hottest men in the series right now, that 28 of Brandon Combs. He's OG driver to this series from Cincinnati, Ohio, with Super Dirt Car Series, Chip Bangers Racing, B&B Custom Baits, Combs Cuts, and many more on that Big Pippin race car chassis with Phantom Race engine on the inside. He's got 5 wins in the series, making his 57th start tonight. And looking at the top spots, Young with the 15.43, Combs behind him with the 15.49.
Brandon Combs will now jump in front of Aiden Young, a 15.38. His final time will improve, a 15.32. Aiden Young second, a 15.43.
Yeah, Combs, I think it's nice. He kind of knocks that out, and we'll see if he can kind of stay warm when we get to the heat races, as we see the number 1 of Colin Boyles coming out there from Decatur, Illinois, with Trimby Sons and Sons Concrete, Building Systems of Illinois, Ridge DPC, Vortex Wraps, and Logitech with that Longhorn chassis and Vic Hill race engine on the inside. He's got 2 top 5s in the series, 63 starts under his belt.
Also on the track is that 22 of Brandon Bender. He's also an original driver here to the series from Minford, Ohio. B&B Custom Baits, Combs Cuts. It's a Rocket chassis. He's got 18 top 5s in his career and 75 career starts. Colin Boyles will shoot up to second fastest, a 15.36. Brandon Bender, third fastest, a 15.39.
I want to thank a lot of our listeners and viewers for tuning in tonight. I know we've got one special guy who messaged us yesterday, took off work to listen to the broadcast. Had some other plans though, but we promise we're gonna put on a show for you tonight, just like these drivers are as well. As you see, not too much of a switch up there in our top 4 drivers: Combs, Boyles, Bender, and Young.
As now out on the tracks, that 37 machine, it is Brandon Marlowe from Benton, Missouri. Hot Lap Heroes Racing, Tintec Seamless Guttering, Crow Trucking, that's a capital race car. Tonight making his 32nd appearance.
Also out there, 75 of Andy Piercefield from Ball Ground, Georgia, with Extreme eSpeed TV, Evans Air Conditioning and Plumbing, Arizona Sports Shirts, and the Piercefield Media Group. That Masterbuilt race car, chassis, and Comet racing engine. He's got 11 top 10s in the series, looking for number 12 tonight in his 68th career start.
So Brandon Marlowe, third fastest, a 15.38. Andy Piercefield, sixth fastest, currently with a 15.71.
It looks like Marlowe just edging out Bender right now, 15.36 versus a 15.39. We'll see if Piercefield can improve his run. He had a 15.59. Not much of a change there. Still your top 6. As we have the 07 might be coming out next.
As we've got 6 drivers down of the 20 here ready to go tonight.
All right, another rookie out on the track, Hayden Swaney from Chatsworth, Georgia. With DPR, Chip Bangers Racing's Twisted Race Engines, Dirt Chasers Media, Custom Ink Concepts, and AK Custom Creations with that CVR race car chassis and Twisted Performance engine, making just his 5th start in the series. And I'm kind of one of those drivers you circle and you say, man, I want to learn a lot about this guy this year, and we will definitely have the chance to.
Now it's Jacob Lassiter from Dresden, Tennessee, Team Hot Lap Heroes, Larson Logistics, Crow Trucking, Tin Tech. He is our record holder for most top 10s and starts in the series, as he is one of the original drivers. Of course, it was exciting last year as Jacob picked up a victory in the season, as he will be 5th fastest of 15.40. Swaney will end up 7th fastest of 15.56.
Yeah, looking at the roster, if my math is correct, we only have 4 original drivers in this series. So I wouldn't call it a series that has a ton of turnover, but we've definitely seen, as the years go by, a lot of different and special drivers come through. As speaking of, the 71 of John Hine from St. Louis, Missouri, with that Bass Pro Shops Extreme eSpeed TV and Gambler Motorsports race car. Got the Rocket XR1 chassis and Durham race engine on the inside. 6 top 5s in his 36th career start. We'll see what he can do tonight.
And out on the track, our back-to-back champion, Dylan Perry from Ringgold, Georgia, Evans Air Conditioning, Extreme eSpeed TV, Piercefield Media Group, CBR Race Car, Rapid Race Graphics, Lickum and Stickum Signs and Designs, Harrison Automotive, as he's got 24 career wins, 55 top 5s in 58 career starts. His first lap, 8th fastest of 15.53. John Hines, 6th fastest of 15.42.
That's a good one right there. John Hine, well, he's got momentum like that. This could be one of the John Hine nights where he just kind of stays in the mix. I'd love to see him competing for a top 5, maybe even a podium finish or better tonight. Perry's next lap just barely improves, still milliseconds behind Aiden Young at a 15.46. Now rolling out there, the 117 of Joshua Johnson from Waynesville, Georgia, with Vortex Wraps, A.W. Willingham Trucking, and Vortex Motorsports with that CVR race car and Big Hill race engine. He's got 1 top 5, looking for number 2 tonight in his 48th career start.
Now on the tracks, that 64, it's Kendrick Hicks, another rookie from Willard, Kentucky. Shane Bailey Racing, Bernie Racing Solutions, Michael Boggs Photography, AC Custom Graphics, Eco No Cool on that 64 machine. He will be 9th fastest of 15.49. Joshua Johnson, 11th fastest of 15.58. Little brother Andy, of course, helped set up the camera work tonight, so exciting to show off his work as he putted around the track all afternoon for tonight's broadcast.
Yeah, little brother Andy kind of surprising us. We had a friend of ours named Joey get that brutal bee sting, so little brother Andy playing first aid and able to get Joey in the booth. He's watching the broadcast with us. Just real important to drink his fluids and take care of himself. We need him out there.
Not on the tracks, that rookie we talked about, it's Jason Crow in that 27 machine. Hot Springs, Arkansas, Hot Lap Heroes, Crow Trucking, Longhorn chassis, making his 6th career start. So far he's got 4 top 5s in 5 career starts.
Yeah, and he jumps up first lap around into the top 10 at 15.46, tied with, of course, Dylan Perry. So if those two are pacing at the same pace tonight, man, it's going to be fun. And he leapfrogs Perry with still the exact same time, but quite literally milliseconds of a difference. And we got Cody Early out there as well. Cody, our race director and fearless leader, one of the 4 original drivers from Greenville, Tennessee, with Bass Pro Shops, Schaefer's Racing Oil, Hoosier Racing Tires, Oakley Sunglasses, and Bowman Designs with that BMF race car and Big Hill Racing engine. 6 top 10s, looking for his 83rd start tonight. Puts down a 15.67.
As we look, it looks like it's going to be another rookie, the 46 of Kenny Hay, Benton, Louisiana, Hot Lap Heroes, Crow Trucking, Tintech Seamless Gutters, iRacing, iFlag, Marco's Moose Ranch Hair Care and Tire Center. It's a master-built race car. 5 career starts, 1 top 5, 4 top 10s in his inaugural season here with the Pro Late Model Dirt Series.
Evan Hinkle out there, another rookie from Barberville, Kentucky, with Smith's Guttering and Siding, Keltner's Contracting, Smith's Sealing, and Newton Cattle Farms, that Longhorn Chassis and Hendren Race Engine. He's got 1 series start and it ended in a top 10, so we'll see if he can do it once again tonight, maybe even a top 5 or better.
So Hinkle 15th fastest, a 15.64. Kenny Haight up to 11th fastest, a 15.53. As we have 4 drivers remaining, 2 rookies left to go here in our final group. As you see, Hinkle make his way by. And he will move up to 14th fastest, a 15.56.
As we now have the 224 of Tyler Benefield, another rookie from Hanceville, Alabama, with Dylan Perry Racing, Foskey Illustrations, Rapid Race Graphics, Huffman Tires, Chipbangers Racing, Liberty Racing Review, and many more on that Bob Pierce race car chassis and Phantom engine. He's got just 6 starts in the series, but 2 of them are top 10, so odds are pretty good. 1 in 3 chance on average. This boy's going to finish in the top 10. We'll see if he can do it again tonight.
Also on the tracks, that 221, that's Brett Carlton. Brett Carlton comes from Royal Palm Beach, Florida, LTX Home Builders, Water Experts, Chipbanger Racing. This is his 50th career start, still looking for that elusive first victory. Carlton, 11th fastest, a 15.51. Tyler Benefield, 18th fastest, his first lap, a 15.90.
So that, according to my math, would leave about 2 racers left. And would be a jam-packed 20-car field tonight. And we'll see if it'll be the 07 of Chris Payne coming out right now from Mossheim, Tennessee, with 1/5 scale Dirt Oval Network, Trent's Graphic Designs, Big Kev's Drivers, Torqued Graphics, and Payne's Cages with that Longhorn Chassis and Vic Hill Race Engine, making just his 2nd career start. Happy to have him here in the series and eager to see what he can put down in his first lap.
And the 20th driver out there, oh man, it is Tyler Bowman making his 18th career start tonight from Whitehall, Pennsylvania. Bowman Designs, Bowman Renovations, Honors Furniture, Roy Danner Paving, Hoffman Speed Supplies. That's Chipbanger race car as well. Tyler Bowman, 17th fastest, a 15.60. Is Chris Payne, 20th fastest right now, a 15.88.
So you can see it on the left-hand side there, but your top 5 right now, Combs, Voiles, Marlowe, Bender, and Lassiter. And John Hine, sneaky, just on the outside of the top 5. We'll see if he can finish inside it tonight.
Of course, following this Houston Guttering Time Trial session, we'll head right into carrier heat races. And it will be Brandon Combs, your quick time in qualifying, as Volusia Speedway Park is rocking tonight for night number 2 of the 3rd annual Winter Nationals. See Chris Payne pulling into the infield work area there as Houston Guttering Time Trials will come to an end. You know, Dylan Perry ends up 9th fastest there. Brett Carlton, 11th fastest. Tyler Bowman, Tyler Benefield, 2 drivers that we've seen race up front, down there at 17th and 19th. So we'll see how these carrier heat races play out at them and see who's maybe a little bit quicker in race trim.
And And it all begins tonight with Carrier Heat Race number 1, and Brandon Combs will be on the front line alongside Jacob Lassiter. Behind them, Dylan Perry and Joshua Johnson, with Tyler Bowman starting 5th.
So if my math teacher, Mr. Garrison, taught me well, 5 drivers in heat race number 1 will make it 4 heat races tonight.
Very wise man. It was awesome. He taught so much about digits while still missing a few on that right hand after that bowling incident.
So still waiting for Tyler Bowman, it looks like. Waiting for him to make his way out onto the track.
Crowd starting to fill out, and there's Tyler Bowman. So with that, we should see the pace truck start to pull off. Leadfoot Larry, wasn't living up to his name, but he's starting to lead the field. Now, not sure if we'll get maybe a couple laps and then go green, or if they're just about ready.
So down the backstretch they'll go as that pace truck makes his way around. He'll dive on off the track over there in turn number 4. Deep into turn number 4. Combs, Lassiter down the front stretch. Green flag waves. We're Carrier Heat racing from Volusia.
The flash bulbs going just goes to show you those types of cameras are still in use, as we have these guys using every bit of the track. Perry holding off from Combs, quickly moved up. He officially is your leader on that first one by, but Combs is going to try and ride that lower lane, but he just cannot find the grip, and Perry smoothly takes it right back. And you got to think, with still 6 laps and change to go, you're going to see Combs try and make that move a few more times.
Dylan Perry was one of those drivers that maybe didn't have that Houston Guttering time trial lap that he expected or wanted. Quickly moves up to the front now as Combs, he, and Lassiter continue to trade that top spot. Dylan Perry's finally able to take control over it as now Combs looks to the inside of Lassiter.
Man, they're looking a little slick out there, but it's going to only slicken up more tonight. But so far doing a good job of keeping it controlled. But then again, you're looking at least in this top 3, some of the best that we've seen. So, Combs and Johnson switching spots. You get a real good view there of the inside of the car. Not the best, vision in some of these turns, so a lot of it is just really having to have a good feel for your car.
You can see Lassiter was able to pull up alongside Perry there. Then the exit of the corner, Perry had the momentum. They've broken away from the 2 behind him. That's Combs and Johnson now doing battle for 3rd as Lassiter moves down to the inside, trying to make a move on Perry for the lead.
You got to think Perry thrives in situations like this. I think he kind of likes feeling someone kind of breathing down his neck. I know I do.
White flag waves as it's time to pound out one more lap around. Dylan Perry able to hold on, heads off into 3 for the final time. Lassiter won't have enough. It'll be Dylan Perry, your winner. Lassiter second, Combs, Johnson, Bowman.
All right.
Gary Heat race number 2 will be Colin Boyles alongside John Hine. Kendrick Hicks in 3rd next to Hayden Swaney. And Cody Early will round out the 5-car field. So Colin Voiles, John Hine will make up that front row here in Carrier Heat Race number 2. That Econo Cool 64 machine there in row number 2.
A lot of good sponsors on these cars. And it's kind of been fun watching the series over the years, and you see, some fresh new sponsors, but you also see kind of the ones that have been there from day one. We talk about the original drivers of this series. There's some original sponsors too, and you see the pace truck pull off, and they love watching racing just like we do.
Green flag waves. It's Colin Voiles, John Hine taking us off into green and off into turn number 1. Voiles will slide up in front of that 71 machine. He's got Kendrick Hicks in the 64 making a move on the lead. Good racing here early at Volusia as Colin Voiles will take the lead. He'll lead lap number 1. So Colin Voiles able to lead here early as Hicks and Hine continue to do battle behind him side by side. John Hine running the highest of this group. Looks like he's got momentum coming off of turn number 2. He's going to be able to pull up alongside that one machine now.
Yeah, and he gets in front. And right now, John Hine, Cody Early, the only ones who have improved their position from the start of this Carrier Heat race. And this is going to be kind of a little bit of a fun finish.
Cody Early following John Hine around in that outside line as 4 laps to go. We're halfway. Cody Early now has raced up from the 5th starting spot all the way up into 2nd.
And this is some fun racing right now. Cody Early and John Hine, a couple of great guys, but real competitive racers. I wonder if Hine has enough to hold him off, but I'll tell you what, Voiles isn't going to give up easily trying to chase down Early himself.
Great racing here. About 2.5 laps to go here in Carrier Heat Race number 2. You can see the distance now. John Hine is separated from Cody Early in the 2nd spot. Voiles now up in that outside line as that line has come in here now during Carrier Heat Race number 2, and it's the preferred one around this track.
A little bit of separation there now between Hine and Early. If he can hit his marks, he's going to take the white flag right now, and probably a mere 20 seconds away from him taking Carrier Heat Race number 2, but you're going to see some fight there from Voiles that tries to overtake Early, but we may see a heck of a run here from Early to kind of go from where he started up 3 spots. But I'll tell you what, John Hine taking Carrier Heat Race number 2, Cody Early and Colin Voiles behind them, as well as Kendrick Hicks and Hayden Swaney.
So just like that, Carrier Heat Race number 2 is in the books. We'll move on to Carrier Heat Race number 3.
Yes, and Carrier Heat Race number 3 will be led by Brandon Marlowe and Aiden Young. Behind them, Brett Carlton and Evan Hinkle, with Tyler Benefield starting 5th.
For anyone down in the Volusia Speedway Park area, don't forget tomorrow night's Joey Garrison Memorial Modified event. Of course, plenty of great racing action down here in Barberville, especially this time of year, Adam. Speed Weeks down there, you've got Daytona Beach not that far away. A lot of exciting racing action kicking off the season.
Yeah, a lot of the things that we get to talk about on this broadcast, it's like you couldn't even script it. It's almost storybook. It feels like fiction until you see it play out, just how many fun storylines we get to follow this year. And it's just, it's going to be, and I keep talking about the season like it's early because there's still so much of the season to go.
Pace truck dives on off. Brandon Marlowe, Aiden Young bring us back to green. Carrier Heat Race number 3 underway. 8 more exciting laps here. Setting that. Oh, Brandon Marlowe and Carlton makes light contact. That gives Aiden Young an opportunity to move out around the outside as they're now 3 wide for 3rd.
That's right, 3 wide for 3rd. Aiden Young is the one emerging. He's up 1 spot from where he started, but Brandon Marlowe not giving up, trying to get that spot back right now. 7 to go, and the lights are fully bright right now. Sun is completely down, and look at that, Evan Hinkle jumping up in front of Benefield and Carlton. So some good movement. They're a little spaced out right now, but as we know, when you hit these corners like this, somehow they always find a way to get back together.
So Aiden Young holding off Brandon Marlowe. Marlowe's rebounded nicely now. He's down in that inside line. That was the preferred way there in heat race number 1. Since then, though, that line to the outside is the preferred one. That's where everyone else is at. But Marlowe's trying to make something happen. Try to pick up a heat victory here tonight.
And Aiden Young doing a great job of just having the advantage in Marlowe. I mean, this is kind of a masterclass, and you see Marlowe slightly gets the edge there, but can he hold it? Does he have the grip? Ooh, man, coming at the line, it is just barely Aiden Young in front of Marlowe. We'll see if he can hold that the next few laps around.
Brandon Marlowe will lead that now with 2 laps to go. It looks like he's able to separate from that 69 machine. Hinkle in third. And Brandon Marlowe's drove that inside line to the front now. He's going to stay down there. Now Hinkle's going to make an attempt as he moves to the inside of Aiden Young.
Oh, man, this is going to be real close. As whoever loses this is maybe playing taps. Oh, and just complete chaos right now. Final lap, can Marlowe hold on?
Out of turn number 4, it'll be the 37. Brandon Marlowe the winner. Aiden Young second. Evan Hinkle third. Benefield Carlton will round out the field. And just like that, we'll move on to carrier heat race number 4.
That's right, and it'll be led by Brandon Bender and Jason Crow, with Kenny Hayton, Andy Piercefield in row 2, and Chris Payne in 5th.
So carrier heat race number 4 will roll out.
You're gonna hang up.
And we are green, green, green.
As they head off into turn number 1, it's Bender to the inside. Crow in that outside line. Andy Piercefield there will move up into the 4th spot. As it's Kenny Haight to the inside. Ooh, slight contact there as Bender moves down across the nose of Kenny Haight. Now Jason Crow will jump in there, and now he's looking as they're 3 wide off into 1.
Man, these cars are looking quick as this track continues to darken up tonight. It's getting slick.
Yeah, as they settle back in, they're on lap number 1. Bender came over the nose of Kenny Haight. Slight contact there. They've settled in now. Haight into the 3rd spot. This carrier heat race, quite a bit of separation between these cars as we're 3 laps in, 5 to go.
Yeah, we kind of said that about Aiden Young and Brandon Marlowe in the last one, and right there towards the end, you saw Marlowe still had enough juice to make a move. So I'm not going to count any chaos out yet as you see Crow diving low. And, man, that's going to be a battle that, it kind of got teased last night, but you're going to see more of it tonight. That Bender Crow, kind of skill level, they're likely going to be around each other not only a lot tonight, but really a lot this season.
As Bender continues to lead, only 3 laps to go. Crow has closed that gap slightly. It's 0.3 of a second here. It will inflate to 0.5 of a second down the back stretch. Coming out of 3 and 4, we've got 2 laps to go.
You're right. He's kind of extending that lead right now.
White flag waves for Brandon Bender. Crow in second, quite a distance here. Haight third, Piercefield fourth, Chris Payne in 5th. Out of turn number 4, it will be Brandon Bender, carrier heat race number 4 winner. Jason Crow, Kenny Haight, Andy Piercefield will hold off Chris Payne for the 4th position. And just like that, Adam, we're going to head to that last chance showdown. Of course, last chance showdown presented by Combs Cuts.
Yep, and we are presenting the 4 drivers tonight who will be competing. It'll be Tyler Bowman and Hayden Swaney. Behind them, Brett Carlton and Chris Payne. So a 4-driver shootout tonight under the lights.
Of course, make sure you comment in the comment section. Tell us who your pick to win tonight is.
I just hope the drivers have a lot of fun tonight. That's all I care about. And I also care about seeing a heck of a race, which I know we're in for tonight. As you see, the concession stands looking a little full with folks getting something to eat.
That's all.
Two by two to the green flag they come. Tyler Bowman, Hayden Swaney out front. Brett Carlton, Chris Payne there in the back. And as we mentioned, Tyler Bowman, maybe we'll get the chance to talk to him later. Obviously, one of those drivers we've seen race up front in the past. Volusia just not his night here. As Chris Payne has issues down the front stretch.
So it's kind of a 3-lap battle, and Payne kind of in the distance of your screen there.
3-car breakaway here. Seeing what the track does now is that outside lane, when it first came in, gave drivers a big opportunity to move around, but now everyone's up there and it's really evened out from top to bottom now. As any momentum is stalled out, there you saw Bowman go to the inside. He was able to stretch his lead, so he's going to go down there, test the waters with the old big toe.
And even with 8 to go, it's going to take a wild move from Payne to probably catch up, maybe like a Houdini or something.
Bowman out front. Swaney did make up some ground there, as did Carlton. This front 3 group has separated but tightened up of their own. Is a great run by Swaney down the backstretch. He'll get up alongside the 79. Caution flag comes out. It looks like Brett Carlton. Oh, and he got into that opening down there at the exit of turn number 2.
I've been in that situation.
You can see that opening right there. It's nice and wide for leaving the pit area, but it's just, it doesn't line up there as you exit that corner. And we've seen it just grab the best of the drivers out there from time to time.
Big old.
Nothing our safety crew can't clean up, though.
There's a great shot of this crowd we have here tonight at Volusia. You see fans all the way around this track. Even over there at that opening, you see a few guys standing there.
So pace truck light's still on, still cleaning up the wreck right now, and it really is kind of a 3-lap or a 3-car battle at the moment.
So it looks like we will go green this time by. As they will line up, it looks like Brett Carlton may be out of this one. He had plenty of damage there from pounding it into that opening on the backstretch, but Bowman will take us back to green. We're halfway, 6 laps to go.
Bowman, interesting to see a leader taking the bottom line, and you feel like maybe that's starting to get more grip, I guess you could say, as Swaney is taking that inside line. And I don't know if Bowman maybe just didn't take the right groove, because you see that speed right now from Hayden, but man, he could not get back and get his grip.
Swanee gave it right back there. You saw him slide up across the track. He's now back on the prowl of that 79. As Bowman will make his way around. 3 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, a little bit of separation, especially between them and Chris Payne. Hoping we can see Brett Carlton in the main event tonight, but we probably won't see him the rest of this last chance showdown. And you're now starting to see some separation being made by Tyler Bowman.
Sweeney has jumped all the way up there right on the cushion now, as Bowman has almost 8/10 of a second lead. Coming to the white flag, one more lap here in our Combs Cuts last chance showdown. Sweeney giving it all he has, but it's not going to be enough. Tyler Bowman will win Combs Cuts last chance showdown here at Volusia as we get ready. Ooh, and he's into the wall there at the finish line. Tires rolling.
Not a way you want to end this, and that could be just brutal for the rest of his night.
So his crew's going to have about 10 minutes here to get that hot rod fixed back up, as we will take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have tonight's national anthem and some pre-race talk coming here from Volusia Speedway Park. It's the Pro Late Model Dirt Series on Extreme eSpeed TV.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
Welcome back to Volusia Speedway Park as we get prepared for tonight's third annual Winter Nationals. We'll throw it down to the PA announcer for tonight's national anthem. And with that, pre-race festivities are done. We'll take one more quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have our pre-race sound bites here from Volusia Speedway Park.
This is the premier podcast for late model dirt track racing. This is Forward Bite, hosted by superfan and actual know-it-all Kyle Armstrong on the Speed Sport Podcast Network.
Welcome back to another edition of the Forward Bite Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Armstrong.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
Welcome back to Volusia Speedway Park. It is the Extreme eSpeed TV Pro Late Model Series. Here, night number 2 of the 3rd annual Winter Nationals. As we are just about 30 seconds away from gridding the field for tonight's 60-lap feature event. As we've had some great racing action here. We've seen this Volusia Speedway Park change throughout the carrier heat races. And Adam, now we'll line them up 60 laps here for this feature event.
Yes, we will, and it's going to be a heck of a battle. As you know, Volusia Speedway really near and dear to the hearts of a lot of these drivers, really this series in general. And I think new drivers, we look at some of the rookies we have here. I'm looking at the roster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 6 to 8 right now that are new to this league, and they understand the importance of Volusia. That's why we're here back-to-back nights. So we're in for a heck of a show, and it looks like we just got the standings. So we're going to throw that up on the screen here in a moment to give you the full grid for tonight's green flag, and it'll be Dylan Perry and John Hine. I'm telling you, John Hine's going to have a heck of a night tonight on the front row with Brandon Marlowe and Brandon Bender. The Brandon and Brandon boys on row 2. Behind them in row 3, Jacob Lasser and Cody Early. Row 4 of Aiden Young and Jason Crow, who was hot last night. Row 5, Brandon Combs and Colin Boyles. Row 6, Evan Hinkle and Kenny Haight. Row 7 will be Joshua Johnson and Kendrick Hicks, with Tyler Benefield and Andy Piercefield in row 8. Row 9, Tyler Bowman and Hayden Swaney. And then rounded out, a full field of 20 drivers will be Chris Payne, the rookie, and Brett Carlton joining us out of Florida. So that's a full group right there, and we'll see how clean we can run these 60 laps from Volusia as we await Leadfoot Larry in the pace truck to take off.
See Joey Garrison, he's picking Andy Piercefield to win tonight. If you have any of your picks, make sure you get them in the live chat. Of course, we've got those results, or not results, but running order over to your left. 20-car field here tonight. And you look at that front row, Adam. We talked about Dylan Perry, maybe not the fastest lap in the Houston Guttering time trial session, but he will start from the pole here after a heat victory. As you see the 4-wide salute down the backstretch to the great fans here at Volusia tonight.
Always love to see that, 4-wide salute for those fans, both in attendance and not here, kind of coming back from that memorial service earlier today. So just real good. It's been a tight community out here at Volusia, and you see that the fans standing, every one of them who are able, and just really just proud to be a part of this community. And yeah, it's tough. You go from 4-wide salutes like this where everyone bonds together to possibly going 4-wide later in this race and worrying about yourself. So it's just wild to see how polar opposite these moments will be as they fire off and they're getting ready to go green here in just a moment.
So they'll get lined back up 2 by 2. 60 laps will make up this feature event here tonight. As it is night number 2 of the 3rd annual Winter Nationals presented by A.W Willingham Trucking. Dylan Perry out front with John Hine. Thankful for everyone tuning in and here at the track tonight. We've got Joey Garrison. He's in Memphis, Tennessee. A2, he's down in PSL, the Port St. Lucie, South Florida. As we are back to racing action, green flag wave 60 laps at Volusia Speedway Park for the Pro Late Model Dirt Series.
This is a battle I'm going to want to see more of. Dylan Perry, John Hine, and Brandon Marlowe with quick speed right now, almost like he was saving it in the tank, and you don't want to show your cards too early, but I'll tell you what, that's a heck of a first lap to start this race.
Marlowe will use that inside line. He'll drive up to the lead. Lassiter following him through. If you look back in the pack, you also have Who is that back there? Brandon Combs also down there to the inside. He's up 3 spots quickly. So that inside line coming in here early in this 60-lap event. Working lap number 3, it's still Brandon Marlowe out front.
Yeah, some hard charging right now from Brandon Marlowe and Jacob Lassiter. You're getting a look now, kind of focusing on that 51 of Lassiter, and he's crossing the start-finish line now. They're moving quickly. Already 4 laps complete, and it's Brandon Marlowe, and you got to assume that you're not seeing the tricks fully coming out from Dylan Perry just yet, but he definitely senses that these guys see the target on his back, the back of Dylan Perry, that is, and we're going to see some hard racing tonight.
Great run here early by Brandon Combs. He's up alongside that 51 of Jacob Lassiter. Behind him, they're 2x2 as well. You've got John Hine, Bender, and Crow back there. They all battle for the 5th spot, as it's still Brandon Marlowe out front. Great racing action all the way around as we work lap number 6.
That's right, 10% of the way through this one already. Ooh, Crow and Bender battling back and forth for 5th place right now. So many battles. You're seeing Brandon Combs in 3rd right now, up 6 spots. Absolutely insane start to the race for him. And meanwhile, John Hine, kind of my pick to surprise you, is unfortunately surprising me as he's fallen all the way down to 8th right now. So plenty of movement, but still a large enough track and conditions that are well enough where you're not seeing a ton of bumping and grinding just yet. They're able to stay a little spaced out for now, at least.
So up front, it's still Brandon Marlowe. He's been able to hold off Dylan Perry. Dylan Perry right in his tracks down there to the inside. They've broken away by about 1.3 seconds here from Brandon Combs in the 3rd spot here. As 9 laps down, 51 laps to go here at Volusia. Looking down through the field, Adam, plenty of guys moving up and through the field. Kenny Hayther in the 46. He's working John Hine for the 8th spot. He started in 12th. Not far behind, you have Kendrick Hicks. He's up 3 spots along with Tyler Benefield behind him. And then towards the rear in 17th, you've got Brett Carlton, started 20th, up 3 spots as well.
Yeah, we almost saw a 3-wide battle there with Hine, Early, Haight. And, oh, man, you see Marlowe just edging out Dylan Perry. And it's funny because, having watched Dylan Perry, I don't think he's trying really to make a pass yet. I mean, if he ends up on the podium, we're going to have a chance to talk to him in the booth. And I kind of want to hear the strategy if he's able to pull it off, because you almost assume he's just kind of the beast lying in the weeds. But behind them is where we have really some more dramatic battles. Jason Crow not able to pick up the win last night, but he is desperately trying to track down Brandon Combs. So you see him on the inside. And, these drivers definitely making lanes work top and bottom, which is not always something we can say about the race this early in some of the other tracks we've been to.
So great battle continues here for 3rd. Up front, it's Brandon Marlowe. He's still got Dylan Perry following him around. Back in the pack, you got Evan Hinkle. He's down 6 spots here early as he's trying to make his way around. Carlton just moves by him. Our hard charger, presented by Buttkicker, right now is Brandon Combs, as he's up 6 spots into the top 3. Our quick mover here, and he passed the majority of those cars on the green flag to get up there into a podium position.
Yeah, and just a reminder, if you're kind of checking in to the Pro Late Model Dirt Series for the first time, I want to give you kind of a feel for who have historically been dominating so far this season. This is race number 6 on the year, and Dylan Perry won the first 2 at Lernerville and Kern County, and then the most recent at Volusia. But between that, back-to-back wins for Brandon Combs at Kern County and Charlotte. So Combs and Perry, it's no surprise you're seeing them in 2nd and 3rd right now, but Crow has been very close. Would like to see him possibly catch up, but Marlowe looking to play spoiler for all these boys. Still very early, though, about 1/3 of the way through this race.
When you look at that top 5, you have Dylan Perry, the most wins in series history. Brandon Combs has won his own as well. Jacob Lassiter, and then you've got Brandon Marlowe and Jason Crow up there looking for their first career victories as we're a third of the way through this one. Working lap number 21 as we've been green since the beginning here as you see this great battle between Hicks and Haight for the 9th spot.
Yeah, and Hicks has the momentum as he takes the 9th spot up 5 spots from where he started, and it's going to be the kind of night you think where Hicks is probably a little feared. When you're hot, and he's just edged out Haight for at least the moment. We're getting to see Marlowe and Perry battle it out. It's almost like you want to watch so many of these battles in the middle of the field, but that's why we are late model non-stop here on Extreme eSpeed TV. Glad you're tuning in with us, and I tell you what, you're tuning in at a great time, not only tonight, but this season, as we are still in the early parts of what's going to be probably one of the most dramatic seasons in this series yet. And the drama right now happening a lot with the passes is Marlowe going to have to now battle with Perry taking the outside, so Perry kind of showing a little bit of a different look as this race progresses, maybe either getting a feel for his car in the track or maybe just trying to get into the head of Brandon Marlowe.
Dylan Perry will take over the lead here as they complete lap number 25. He moved around the outside of Brandon Marlowe there. You can see the tail end of the field up ahead. That's the Chris Payne machine. As they stay side by side, Brandon Marlowe battling back on that inside. He's not going to give up easy as now he's back alongside Dylan Perry for the lead.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword right now. You know, if Marlowe does lose ground to Perry, it's double-edged in the sense that he'll lose this ground, and you can kind of say, okay, maybe we'll get a caution and I can catch up. Or on the flip side, we know how good of a restart driver Dylan Perry is, so it's a tough spot for Marlowe. You're going to want to run as hard as you can right now. As we're almost 3 wide with lap traffic. Oh, a little bit of contact. Oh, the tire comes off. Oh, man, that might bring out the caution. There's still a tire, and yep, there it is. Some kid's going to be taking that home and making that a centerpiece in the living room, but my goodness, and that, you got to think that does at least a little damage to Dylan Perry, right?
He was the one that got in the back of Payne there, and you saw they were side by side coming down the front stretch. Payne on the lead lap, up in that outside line, nowhere to go, and just almost blindsided there as the leaders came up behind him. So caution flag will wave, our first caution flag of the night.
Gives us a chance to kind of shout out some people behind the scenes. You know, little brother Andy going out there to pick up some of the scraps. Pretty common for him to include some of these pieces in the local auctions, silent auctions around town. So kind of cool. If you want some of this memorabilia from tonight's race, you might just be seeing it on a showroom table near you. We are about halfway through this race. Pace truck lights are still on. A lot to just confirm and clean up in race control to make sure we're restarting in the right spots. But with this break in the action, I want to give you a chance now to talk to us. So drop some comments, drop some predictions in the chat. Believe me, we are open to any and everything. I know we've got a few texts on our phone, Travis, of guys still picking and thinking Andy Piercefield's laying in the weeds. I would agree. He finished 12th last night, just outside the top 10. Wouldn't shock me if he gets back in. I still have faith in John Hine. He's down 5 spots from where he started, sitting in 7th right now. So there's a chance he can climb his way back up as well. So plenty of names to watch. Whether you're cheering for the front runners or the field, this is a good race to really make an argument for either side.
Well, and on that green flag to start the race, we saw guys move up, including Brandon Combs. He picked up about 3 positions on the start. So see who can make that happen again here. You got to think he's chomping at the bit there in that inside row number 2. As the pace truck will pull off the track. Dylan Perry, Brandon Marlowe bringing us back to green. Green flag waves. Good jump to that inside. Combs will move up into second. Lassiter's alongside Marlowe for third.
Oh, man, it's heating up here in the second half of this race. But Dylan Perry, like I talked about, he's the king of restarts. But can he be the king of holding off the competition? And Brandon Combs slightly falling back as Marlowe's going to take it right back. Marlowe's saying, I want to overtake this guy. He took what's mine and he wants it back.
Oh, Lassiter in there hard. He gets into the back end of Combs. They'll keep it going straight. That opens the door for Jason Crow to look to the inside of Lassiter for the 4th spot. And now Brandon Bender up to 6th.
Yeah, man, that was absolutely insane right there. And what I appreciate about these drivers is just how good they are at kind of not always avoiding contact, but making sure it doesn't lead to a caution. Oh, and speaking of, there's a caution.
There's John Hine, his machine. Ooh, right front damage there. You see that tire there.
Ooh, tire comes off, and once again, little brother Andy gonna get a bicep workout from all these tires he's having to pick up. And John Hine, my prediction, not looking too good. Oh, sparks are flying right now, and he'll pull into the pits. And as we know, Travis, these tires are not the cheapest right now. So hate to see the night end like that if it does indeed. And oh, the magic of the night. There's a tire back on there. Great and quick pit road work, and love to see our drone in action as you get the overhead look. A little bird's eye view of Volusia. And man, that was a quick second caution. Not used to seeing that, so might this track be slickening up a little bit? It could be.
As always, thankful for the fans here at the track. Thankful to all the fans tuning in. You watch one race here on Extreme eSpeed TV for the Pro Late Model Dirt Series, and as we like to say, you become a fan for life, and we'll see you again at the next broadcast.
And you kind of led right into the next thing we were going to talk about, Travis. The next broadcast will be next Wednesday at I-55 Raceway. We'll pack up our trailer and bring our friends along to the spring thaw. And a week after that, Bristol Motor Speedway, Smoky Mountain Dirt Nationals. And then, of course, one more race 2 weeks later, Fairbury Speedway for the Illinois Dirt Classic. So they're lined up side by side. You got to think if we get any more cautions, they might try a single file restart, but we're not there yet. As the horn sounds, people are rowdy right now. And we are going green.
Green flag, that inside line moves forward again. It's going to be Jason Crow, the third one in that car, as he's able to pull up a leg. Oh, and Combs gets sideways. He's able to hold on. Crow will avoid him. He'll move to the inside. They're 3 wide down the backstretch.
Oh, man, the contact. I'm telling you. We got one guy. Cody Early sideways. Oh, suddenly he's in the pits. And the caution is out.
So that's Cody Early that got sideways there.
And I don't think he wanted his night to end early, and he'll head down pit lane and probably get back out there. And I guess that's probably one of the more fortunate places to end up when a caution comes out, and he didn't exactly force himself into the wall or into another car. So good control by him, and it looks like he'll pull back out there once the field goes by, and we still have the pace truck making his laps. If you're just joining us right now, it was a relatively clean and wide open first half of the race, and right now it's kind of a Marlowe, Combs, Dylan Perry battle at the moment. And who's knocking? It could be kind of the middle of the pack right now, so it's going to be up to these boys up front to answer that door. As you see, Cody Early trying to get it started right now. It looks like he is able to get it started, thankfully. He's pulling back out there on the track, sitting 19th at the moment. Lights are still on, so they're still going to be making at least one more lap, it looks like.
Adam, heard you were out on the lake the other day motorboating.
That's kind of son of a gun I am. I'll tell you what. We actually have a little vacation plan between now and the next race at I-55, going to Lake Lanier. So TBD if I return. But I got a great deal on the Airbnb.
25 laps to go here from Volusia. 2 by 2 we will go. Dylan Perry, Brandon Marlowe continue to be the front two. Green flag waves. It's Lassiter Crow, the next two on that inside line. Not quite the jump that inside line had in previous green flags. As you see them stack up in the back, they continue to accordion all the way back as they will get it sorted out.
Man, I don't know how. Oh, sideways. It looks like that. Oh, head-on collision. Cody Early cannot avoid contact in that one. And once again, our fourth caution in almost, 4 laps it feels like? Kind of an uncommon scene for the Pro Late Model Dirt Series. And we've had some races of late that have run pretty green. So I don't know if these are track conditions or what, but these boys near the back cannot avoid the contact, and the warning signs were all there. Guys were having to check up as soon as we basically went green, so see if we can get that cleaned up, and got to think these cars are starting to feel the damage, and hopefully they can kind of get through it unscathed. We'll find out. Looking at the Rookie of the Year standings, just so you can be caught up to speed as a viewer. The AC Customs Graphics Rookie of the Year standings have Jason Crow as your leader. Behind him, Kenny Haight and Kendrick Hicks. So a few guys we've mentioned more than once on this broadcast. Obviously trying to get into the overall standings in favorable position, but still there's some pride on the line for being at the end of the year the AC Customs Graphics Rookie of the Year.
So we'll get ready to line them back up. And looking at this, Adam, it looks like Lassiter was able to move in front of Marlowe, so Marlowe will restart in that inside row number 2 now.
That is correct, and possibly going green next time by in what might be a single file format, which might be good for ticking off some green flag laps after they wave it. Championship point standings leader Dylan Perry out front. When it comes to the standings, it's Brandon Combs and Brandon Marlowe 2 and 3, so we'll get another lap by as something on the track they're still trying to clean up. Maybe giving some of these boys a talking to over on the radios, so that's audio we don't necessarily either have to share with you right now or would need to clean up before we share with you. Another lap going by. Should have busted out some trivia tonight.
As we're about to go green, we'll get some trivia going. Next caution flag. Two by two. That inside line, it's Perry, Marlowe, and Crow. To the outside, Lassiter, Bender, and Colin Voiles. Great run for Colin up into that 6th position. Green flag waves. We're back to racing action.
And look at that. They are quick right now. You're going to see some guys trying to work the outside, but Dylan Perry kind of setting the tone right now, and it almost looks like they're moving faster than they were before the caution. So what tire wear at this moment? Perry, Lassiter, and he's really letting Bender and Marlowe and Crow swap spots behind him, but all he's worried about right now is keeping Lassiter at bay, at least for the moment. Still 21 laps to go. A lot could happen, as we know.
Lassiter, 2 career victories, looking for number 3. As behind him, you've got Bender and Marlowe side by side now. The racing heats up in the back as you've got Crow and Combs now. Combs re-entering the picture in the 6th spot. Up front, though, it's still Dylan Perry over Jacob Lassiter ever so slightly. Less than 20 laps to go, 19 to go here at Volusia.
Yeah, and this is a different kind of night than what we saw from even Lassiter yesterday. You know, he finished last night's 60-lap race in 8th place. So other than that, it's looking similar to what it looked like last night with Dylan Perry winning, and then second and third being Brandon Combs, Jason Crow in the top 5, Brandon Marlowe and Aiden Young. So the only one kind of not in that mix is Aiden Young in 17th, but all he needs is a little bit of traffic in front of him to allow him to squeeze by, and even he could be approaching the top 10 at least.
Great racing action throughout the field. You see, here's the battle for the 9th spot. Carlton to the outside. Benefield just moved by. Behind them, Hinkle in the 10th spot.
Yeah, and something we haven't talked about a lot this season is something that was implemented mid-year last season. Oh, as Andy almost goes sideways, hopefully he can correct that. Oh, but you got Voiles almost having to check up to make sure he doesn't hit him on that inside lane. But something we haven't talked about is the tire wear update from last year, kind of coming into this year, where you can't just wear it out 24/7. So it's provided a lot more strategy that goes into this racing. And you're seeing that play out, at least in expert fashion right now, by Dylan Perry and Jacob Lassiter.
So lucky number 13 to go. Dylan Perry still out front. Lassiter second. Bender, Marlowe, Combs make up your top 5. That rookie Jason Crow into the 6th spot. Our butt kicker hard charger at this point is Brett Carlton, up to 8th from the 20th starting spot. So started at the rear, makes his way up into the top 10 as of right now.
Yeah, and with approaching really 11 and a half to go, you've got Perry, Lassiter, Bender, your top 3. I would not be shocked if one of those 3 drivers is not on the podium when this night ends, just based on how hard you're seeing Marlowe, Combs, and Crow race. So there's gonna, in my prediction, I was pulling for Hine. He's just outside the top 10 and 13th. I think that second prediction is you're going to see a little bit of a shake-up here in these final 10 laps. I just don't know when it'll happen, or if it's going to come green, or when the cows come home. I'm not sure when we're going to see it, but it'll be here soon, I think.
Lassiter giving it all he has, 9 laps to go. Bender's now moved into the 3rd spot. Marlowe 4th. Combs still in that 5th spot. Great 3-car battle here is up ahead. They have Dylan Perry, Jacob Lassiter. Tyler Bowman here, he's just outside the top 10. He's trying to gain on Benefield.
It's the Perry and Lassiter gang right now as they're holding off Bender, and a little bit of single file action. Might take a caution to kind of regroup this field, but if you're Dylan Perry, you are fine with everyone taking their time, and you gotta think he's still far enough behind where that lap traffic might not impact him. But then again, it looks like he's moving a little quicker than that last lap car. So maybe with another lap or two down, he may catch that into that field, which is you saw him make contact when he tried to do that earlier. So he's going to try his best to completely avoid it this time.
So 5 laps to go. You see Chris Payne down to the inside. He currently runs in the 18th spot. He's 3 laps down. Colin Voiles, who was up in the top 6 not that long ago, he's currently 5 laps down in the 19th spot. And Hayden Swaney out of the race, lap number 41. So he is 15 laps down here. As we've got 4 laps to go, we're winding down. And at this point, it's looking like Dylan Perry's going to sweep the 3rd annual Winter Nationals presented by A.W Willingham Trucking.
Yeah, and if so, man, heck of a performance from a heck of a driver. It surprises no one, quite honestly, as you see, sneakily, Brandon Combs up 6 spots. Ooh, battling back and forth with Bender. That's going to be one to watch. With just 2 laps to go, which Brandon's going to be 3rd? Brandon Combs or Brandon Bender? We're about to find out here.
Battle up ahead is for position. It's Andy Piercefield, Cody Early. That's a battle for the 16th spot, so leaders closing in on that. White flag will wave. It's Dylan Perry. Lassiter in 2nd. 1 more lap around this Volusia Speedway Park. Dylan Perry down to the inside from Ringgold, Georgia for the 25th time in his career. He will win at Volusia. Dylan Perry, your 3rd annual Winter Nationals sweep in 2024.
And the pyro goes off. The crowd goes wild. Standing ovation. Hats off performance there for Dylan Perry. Sweeps Volusia. Night number 1. Night number 2. Is there anything that this man can't do?
So we, of course, will talk to those top 3 finishers here in Victory Lane. So Perry, Lassiter, Brandon Combs, your top 3 finishers. And Adam, I'll throw it over to you. You have our 2nd place finisher. It's Jacob Lassiter.
That's right, Jacob, man. So close, and at least from our view, you think an 8th place finish last night, improving that obviously tonight. It was going to be hard to chase down Dylan Perry. It always is. How are you feeling? Gut reaction, instinct after as we kind of wind down?
Yeah, it feels pretty good to come home with a 2nd. I made a couple mistakes in that race, and I got to apologize to. I got back of Combs, and he got in the back of Brandon, and then I ended up cutting the nose off of my teammate Jason Crows. I made a big mistake going into turn 3, and I want to apologize to all them guys if I screwed up, the runs they had. But other than that, yeah, it kind of got. I had something, I don't know, around a little past halfway, and then it just went to that slider line and pretty much same line in 3 and 4. So it was going to be tough to catch him. The only shot I had was, lap traffic, but we didn't really see any lap traffic till right there at the end.
Well, you're not alone in kind of getting caught up in contact, and I guess the question for you is, it just seemed like once about the midway point of the race or the second half of the race, it just felt like, I don't know if things slickened up, but there was a lot more contact, and we almost had a fully green first half of the race. And did you kind of sense that? Was the track definitely changing towards the latter half of it?
Yeah, for sure. It went to kind of the traditional. Well, I wouldn't say it's traditional. It seems like after the update, this track hasn't raced as good as it used to, but that may just be me. But yeah, it kind of got to everybody was trying to fight for the same real estate. You want to try to get run that middle in 3 and 4, and kind of that top or slider in 1 and 2. And when you get to a point where nobody can really pass, it kind of, and guys are running close lap times, it kind of induces some contact. So, but I don't think there was anything malicious. Like I said, I just made a big mistake going into 3, and like I said, I hate that for all them guys that were involved in that.
Well, not being a win, but still an important finish for the standings. You came into this 5th place, arguably going to move up a little bit after this one. But next week, head into I-55 Raceway, win if not already. Do you start to maybe run some laps and try and get a little bit more comfortable with that before the bright lights come on?
I don't know how much practice we'll do. We may get on one night, or maybe a little before the race and do some practicing. But I've got another league that I'm trying to win a championship in tomorrow night, so that's kind of been where my focus has been. Trying to, 'cause that's an open setup deal, so trying to find something dialed in for that deal. But like I said, we'll probably turn a few laps at I-55. We haven't ran there in a while, so but it's a fun track, and sometimes that place could put on one heck of a show. So hopefully we can get that kind of track and see what happens.
All right, well, before we let you go, Jacob, want to give you a chance to shout out any of those partners.
I just got to give a shout out to all my teammates at Hot Lap Heroes and their support. Brandon, Kenny, and Jason in the race tonight. Like I said, hats off to having teammates like that, and they've made, like I said, they've made this league fun and to run with a group that you got, and so I've enjoyed that. And like I said, just got to give a shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast, Cody for giving us a place to run. Got to give a shout out to the wife as always for taking care of the little one.
All right, thank you, Jacob, and congrats again.
Appreciate it.
That's Jacob Lassiter, our 2nd place finisher. Now joining us, our 3rd place finisher tonight, it's Brandon Combs. Brandon, you were able to jump up early on that initial green flag, and then it seemed like you somewhat stalled out in that 3rd, 4th position. What was the difference in being able to get up front and battle for the lead?
Just probably more than likely just make better decisions behind the wheel and some restarts. There was a couple times where I could have been a little bit more aggressive. Then there's other times where I wasn't aggressive enough, and I might have got myself in some trouble there. But all in all, I mean, I was really surprised at just how fast I was able to get up to 3rd originally, and then when everything went to hell in a handbasket, I had to really kind of calm down behind the wheel, because then I was driving the car way too hard, and track just didn't have it. So then I was able to just settle in and get back in a rhythm, and was able to slowly work my way back up to 3rd.
We had that long green flag run, and then we had some cautions there towards the end. What was the advantage, and what were you hoping? Was it the lineup? Was there any advantage to starting on the inside versus the outside? Was there anything that could have played into your hand better than it had?
I don't think so, because I mean, the slick really got really wide, so it kind of didn't really matter where you started on restarts, at least until you got up and going down the backstretch. Then it was kind of like if you were able to be on the top, then you would have a better run and momentum. But then once you get down to 3 and 4, if you ever drove it too much, you were too over-rotated and slowed up too much. So it was kind of like a pitch and catch type deal. I mean, it would either work on the top or it wouldn't, or it'd work on the bottom or it wouldn't. So it was one of those 50-50 draws, which I didn't have the right ticket a couple times. So.
Well, you'll come away up plus 6 spots for the night. Come away with a podium finish, a good finish for you, Brandon. Who are those sponsors? Who are those people you'd like to get a shout out to?
Yeah, I just gotta say big thanks to Dean Reynolds over at Super Dirt Car Series for coming on board for this year. Dirt Chasers, GFP, FHP, Combs Cuts, Zero FG, B&B Custom Baits, Big Pimpin' Race Cars by Dylan Perry, all the guys for all the help over at Chip Bangers Racing, Phantom Race Engines, you guys for putting these on, Cody and Andy for giving us a place to come run, and you guys for putting on one hell of a broadcast.
Well, that is Brandon Bender. He'll come home 3rd tonight as we'll throw it down to victory lane. Adam, you've got our winner, Dylan Perry.
That's right, Dylan Perry, our driver that has swept the last 2 nights of Volusia. Dylan, kind of in quick summation, how do you compare tonight's racing in this win versus the racing we saw last night?
I wish I could compare them, but with how different the tracks were, the only thing that I can compare is last night we saved a little too much from what I thought we had to. I don't think we had to save a whole lot of tire last night. And then tonight, where I should have saved a little bit, we ended up just going hard for 60 laps. So other than that, we couldn't really compare a whole lot, other than we ended the night with a good podium and come out of here with a good points weekend.
So you kind of mentioned there you were going harder tonight than you were last night, and So when you were running a little bit, there was at the beginning of the race where you were kind of running behind Brandon Marlowe. Were you really kind of having to push it harder than last night to not only keep up, but eventually you took the lead? But it looked like, from our perspective, it was hard to tell if you were kind of just laying in the weeds, letting him be the leader, or were you really trying to overtake it for most of that time?
I was saving a little bit, but I was trying to make it where I could still save tire and keep kind of like pushing him to try to get him to use up a little bit of tire and not really save a whole lot. It was a lot of a mental race of just trying to not let anybody get too comfortable and try to save, because if I wasn't going to save, I was going to make sure nobody else could.
Did you experience any damage? I think there was a point towards the beginning, middle of the race where you may have gotten into a little bit of contact, brought out a caution, but it didn't look like it affected. Obviously, you're in victory lane. It didn't look like it affected your car too much, but did it have any impact at all?
No, I don't think it did. I mean, after the way I hit him, I don't think it was going to mess up a whole lot. But under that caution, I was trying to get a feel of it, and it felt like everything was still where it was supposed to be, or at least close enough that I was going to race it as hard as I could, no matter what.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go and get prepared for a week from now at I-55 Raceway, I want to give you a chance, as always, to shout out those partners.
Yeah, I got to thank everybody at Evans Air Conditioning, you guys over at Extreme eSpeed TV, Pierceville Media Group, CBR Race Cars, Rapid Race Graphics, Harrison Automotive, CV Used Cars and Parts, Newt's Lawn Care, DPR, JPR, SHP Mafia, Coyote Media, Phantom Race Engines, GFP, FHP, all the guys over at Chip Bangers Racing that have kept me up on racing as much as they can while we're trying to kick off road racing this past weekend. So they've been a tremendous help. B&B Custom Baits, BPRC, just each and every guy that helps me week in and week out to try to make sure I can knock out some podiums and try and bring this point steal home.
Awesome. Well, you're doing a great job with that, and we look forward to hopefully talking to you next week. Congrats again.
Thank you.
And just like that, Adam, tonight will come to an end from Volusia Speedway Park, as it was night number 2 of the 3rd annual Winter Nationals presented by A.W Willingham Trucking. As always, we thank you for tuning in to Extreme eSpeed TV. For Adam Johnson, I am Travis Piercefield. We will see you at a racetrack soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme eSpeed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme eSpeed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.